Hello everyone, welcome to Study to Win Education. In this lecture, we are going to study the 20 most important multiple choice questions based on thermodynamics. The questions are very simple yet very important from exam point of view. So let's start. We have first question. The thermodynamics primarily deals in change of state from. The thermodynamics is study of heat that we know. The first option is electrical energy to useful work, wind power to useful work, heat to work, and water power to useful work. So thermodynamics deals with the change of heat to work, because we know the first law of thermodynamics, that is Q is equal to W plus E. Here itself we come to know that heat is converted to work plus internal energy. So the thermodynamics is mainly dealing with the heat to work. Option C is correct one. Question number 2. In engineering thermodynamics, the approach towards the matter is macroscopic, macroscopic and none of the above. Microscopic is nothing but study in detail in a small manner, like in the micromolecular level, and macroscopic is a by large study where in detail or very minor changes and effects are not considered. So this is a macroscopic study and microscopic study. Thermodynamics deals approach towards the thermodynamic approach deals towards the both macroscopic as well as microscopic, like velocity of molecules of a gas. This is a microscopic study, but what is the pressure of gas and what is the volume of a gas and so on is the macroscopic study. I hope you understand. So option C is correct. Let's move towards the next question. Here, which one of the following property is an intensive property of the system? Let's understand what the intensive property is. Let's take a body and it has some properties: pressure, volume, temperature, kinetic energy, potential energy, etc. Divide the body into two halves, A and B. If the property also gets divided, then it is extensive property. If the property does not get divided by dividing the object, then it is intensive property. In short, intensive property does not depend upon the mass of object, but intensive property does depend on the mass of a system or the object. Our first option is volume. Let's check. If I cut the object, will the volume get divided? Yes, it will get. So it is depend on the mass and it is extensive property. Let's check the second option, B, that is temperature. If I divide the body into two halves, the temperature will be remain same. Like suppose the temperature of the body is 100 degrees Celsius, and if I divide the body into two halves, A and B, then part A will also have a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius and part B will also have a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. So temperature is an intensive property, so B is the option. Kinetic energy is also extensive property and potential energy is also a extensive property. Now question 4. Which of the property given below is extensive property of the system? Pressure is an intensive property, temperature is intensive property, potential energy, like we have seen before, it is extensive property. Option C is correct, and viscosity is again a intensive property. Question 5. The absolute zero temperature is taken as, absolute temperature is nothing but minus 273 degrees Celsius. Question number 6. Centrifugal pump is example of what? Centrifugal pump is example of open system, closed system, isolated system, and uniform system. Let's see the systems one by one. What is open system? There is a system. If something, air or water, gets into the system and flows out of the system, then it is an open system because there is a transfer of mass, as well as this system is getting that particular mass processed and energy is also flowing out, then this is the criteria of open system. In open system, there is a transfer of energy as well as mass through the system boundaries, then it is called as open system. In closed system, only energy moves out of the system but mass does not move out of the system, then it is a closed system. In isolated system, neither energy nor mass moves out of the system or cross the boundary of system, that is isolated system. Uniform flow system is nothing but this is a system. At each and every point on the system, the parameters of the system like velocity, pressure, everything is same, constant. Then it is called as a uniform system. Let's talk about the centrifugal pump. Centrifugal pump is an open system. Yes or no? Yes, because the water is getting into the centrifugal pump and gets pumped up, so the mass is flowing, as well as the centrifugal pumps gets heated up and it transfers the heat out of the system. So that means energy is also moving out of the system. So it follows all the criteria of open system. So open system is the correct answer. It is not certainly closed system because energy is flowing out, and obviously not isolated system. Uniform system, flow system is also no, because a centrifugal pump, there is a velocity of water changes from point to point on the centrifugal pump. So uniform flow system is not the centrifugal pump. We have next question, number 7. The heat energy stored in the gas and used for raising the temperature of the gas is known as what? We have a system, thermodynamic system. Let's say we have a gas contained in the cylinder, and it has a piston. This is a piston, and I am heating the gas. So what will happen? The gas will expand and it will push the piston up, as well as the temperature of gas will also raise. So what means the heat energy stored in the gas is used for raising the temperature of the gas is known as. So the one, that energy which increases the temperature of the gas is known as internal energy, and the one which is used to pushing the piston up is called as a work energy. So this Q is converted into W plus E. E is nothing but this T, raise in temperature. So internal energy is the correct option, option B. Question number 8. The mechanical equivalent of heat G is equal to 4.1868 joule. So option A is correct. Question number 9. The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water through 1 Kelvin is called as. The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water through 1 Kelvin or 1 degree, it is called as a kilojoule. So definition of kilojoule is nothing but heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of water through 1 degree Celsius or 1 degree Kelvin is called as a kilojoule. Option C is a correct answer. Question number 10. For any gas, for gas has two specificates, we know, specificate at constant pressure and specificate at constant volume, and the relation between these two is always specificate at constant pressure is greater than specificate at constant volume, because while for specificate at constant pressure it has to do two works. One is to raise the work and another is to raise the internal energy. I have made a special video on this topic. You can check that what is the why is the Cp greater than Cv. We will move towards the next question. Question number 11. Efficiency of a cycle is what? Ratio of what? So cycle always has, heat cycle always has heat input and heat rejected, and there is a something in between is work. So relation for efficiency is heat supplied minus heat rejected divided by heat supplied, and work is nothing but heat supplied minus heat rejected, and efficiency is nothing but output upon input. So what is output is the work, and what is input is heat supplied, and what is work is nothing but HS minus HR, that is heat supplied minus heat rejected, divided by heat supplied. So we have option 3, that is C, is the correct. Then move towards the next question. Petrol engine works on what? Petrol engine works on Otto cycle. Let's draw the PV diagram of Otto cycle. We have adiabatic compression, then we have constant volume heat addition, and then we have adiabatic expansion, and then we have constant volume heat rejection. So these are the 4 processes in Otto cycle, but there is no option of Otto cycle, but there is option B, which is called as constant volume cycle. Otto cycle is also called as a constant volume cycle because it has 2 constant volumes processes. Constant volume process also called as isochoric process. So option B is the correct one. Let's move towards the next question. Question number 13. Carnot cycle consists of what? Carnot cycle consists of 4 processes. One is a isothermal process, then adiabatic process, then again isothermal process, and then adiabatic process. This is isothermal expansion, adiabatic expansion, isothermal compression, and adiabatic compression. So 2 adiabatic and 2 isobaric, no, 2 adiabatic and 2 isothermal. Option 1, that is A, is a correct one. Question number 14. Which of the following is a reversible non-flow processes? Isochoric, isobaric, hyperbolic, all of this. These all are called as a non-flow process. Reversible. These are all reversible and non-flow also. What is called as non-flow means the mass from the system should not go out of the system. It's called as a non-flow process. Previously we have seen the example of centrifugal pump is a example of flow process, and if we have a piston cylinder arrangement and I'm heating the system and the piston contains the gas, this is the example of non-flow process, because it is a thermodynamic system but the mass, that is gas, does not flow out of the system. In short, non-flow systems are closed systems and flow systems are open systems. So we have option D, which is correct here in this case. Question number 15. When fluid expands suddenly, 2 vacuum chambers. Question number 15. When the fluid expands suddenly into vacuum chamber through a large orifice, the process is known as throttling process, adiabatic process, isoentropic process, free expansion process. Something is expanding suddenly into vacuum, then it is getting a case equal to free expansion, and option 4 is a correct one. Question number 16. Constant volume cycle is also known as Otto cycle, Rankine cycle, Joule cycle, and Atkinson cycles. We have already seen it. Option A is the correct one. Question number 17. Change in enthalpy during a process is given by H2 minus H1 is equal to mCv delta T. No, this is equal to what? This is equal to change in internal energy. H2 minus H1 is equal to mCp delta T. This is correct. H2 minus H1 is equal to, this is, these are not correct options. So option B is correct. H2 minus H1 is equal to mCp delta T, which option B is correct. Let's move towards the next question. Question number 18. The heat supplied to the gas at constant volume is equal to, we have seen it, option B is correct. mCv delta T is nothing but heat supplied to the gas at constant volume. Let it be any process. For any process, the heat supplied to the gas at constant volume is mCv delta T, and for any process, change in internal energy is also mCv delta T. For any process, the change in internal energy is equal to mCv delta T. We have next question. An adiabatic process is one in which no heat enters or leaves of the system. This is correct. The temperature of the system changes or change. This is also correct. The change in the internal energy is equal to mechanical work done. This is also correct, because no heat gets into the system or leaves the system, so all the internal energy, so work is done is responsible by the internal energy only. All of the above is the correct answer. So all of the above. Question number 19. Now move towards the next question. Question number 20. The thermal power plant works on Rankine cycle, Otto cycle, Ericsson cycle, Joule cycle. Option A is correct. Rankine cycle. Question number 21. Which of the following cycle has the highest efficiency? Otto cycle, Carnot cycle, Stirling cycle, Joule cycle. Out of this, Carnot cycle is the ideal cycle, and ideal cycle always has the highest efficiency. Next question. Charles' law states that for a given mass of perfect gas, volume is proportional to pressure, volume is proportional to temperature. Charles' law. We have three gas laws. One is a Boyle's law, then we have a Charles' law, and then we have a Gay-Lussac's law. What the Boyle's law says is, Boyle's law says that pressure is inversely proportional to volume when temperature is kept constant. Charles' law states that volume is directly proportional to temperature when pressure is kept constant, and Gay-Lussac's law states that pressure is directly proportional to temperature when volume is kept constant. So that means the question contains the Charles' law. Charles' law states that volume is directly proportional to temperature. So volume is proportional to pressure, volume is proportional to temperature. So option B is correct. Question number 23. The general gas equation is given as, general gas equation, just now we have stated the three gas laws. P, V is equal to constant, or V by T is equal to constant and P by T is equal to constant. This is Boyle's law, this is Charles' law, and this is Gay-Lussac's law. If we combine three laws, what we get? P V by T is equal to constant. Let's call this constant as a R, which is nothing but characteristics gas constant. And now what we become is a PV is equal to RT. This is for unit mass. Let's multiply it with a mass. We get a characteristics gas equation or general gas equation, that is equal to PV is equal to MRT. Option C. Question number 24. According to law of conservation of energy, Q is equal to H2 minus H1, Q is equal to H1 plus H2, Q is equal to H2 minus H1 plus work done, Q is equal to H2 minus H1 plus kinetic energy. Option C is the correct. Why? Because Q is the heat and H2 plus H1 are the energies form, plus work done is also energy form. We also know that enthalpy in itself contains the internal energy, so there is no point in adding the internal energy to the enthalpies change. So option D cannot be correct. So option C is correct. Q is H2 minus H1 plus work done. This is the form of energies and this is also form of energy. So all heat supplied is either converted into the change in enthalpy or to do the work done. Question number 25, last question. The refrigeration system works on Ericsson cycle, Atkinson cycle, Bell-Coleman cycle and Otto cycle. Option C is correct, Bell-Coleman cycle. This is our website. You can visit our website and you can join our Telegram channel at this link. Friends, thanks for watching this video. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends and subscribe this channel for more upcoming videos on the similar topics. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day. Thank you.